What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's having a great day. As you can see, we're back out in the garage one last time before I head down to Daytona, Florida for Daytona Bike Week. So yes, this is going to be the last upload before heading down to Daytona. We have one more thing to do to the bike before loading it up in the trailer and heading down to Florida. However, I do have to still wash it and give it a nice bath before we do so. So today I'm going to be doing an oil change on my 2019 Road Glide Special, and I'm also going to be installing a vented oil dipstick cap. I'll go over that here in just a second, from A1 Cycles. Basically, I replaced my stock dipstick with this ventilated cap that has a tube running up through the frame rail, up under the tank, with a uni filter on it. Basically, it's a breather, and these M8s create a lot of crankcase pressure, especially when you put a cam in them or go up more than a stage 1 on the M8s. They need to breathe. So we're going to be installing that today as well after we do the oil change. Alright, so this is the oil I'm going to be running today. This is the oil I'm going to be putting in the bike. It's Maxima V-Twin 20W50, full synthetic, as you can see here. Made in the USA. And basically, I get this whole kit off Amazon. I will leave a link in the description below. It comes with all 5 quarts of oil and also a K&N oil filter. And what's cool about the K&N oil filter is obviously it's black to match the blacked out bike. But what's cool about it is it has a built-in nut on the end of the cap, so it's easy to loosen and take off the filter when you're done, and also put it back on without getting an oil filter wrench in there. It's a pain in the butt to try to get an oil filter wrench in there to get the stock filter off. So K&N's filter does come with a built-in nut on the outside of the oil filter, so that's pretty cool. Now, I know most of you are familiar with the build, but for those who are just now joining us on the channel, I want to go over a few things on the Harley that I just recently did over the winter. To start off, I installed a S&S 475C cam in my bike, and my bike came stock with the 114 cubic inch motor, obviously M8. It's a 2019 Road Glide Special. Came with the 114. I had a stage 1 on it for 2 years. I had the Fuel Moto Jackpots 2-in-1 exhaust on it, which I still have on the bike right now. 2-in-1 exhaust with a dummy pipe on the left side. A ghost pipe, does not work. I have an Arlen Ness Big Sucker air cleaner here. It's actually called the Velocity 65 air cleaner. And I have a tune by Fuel Moto, a custom tune by Fuel Moto, and I flashed the bike with a DynoJet Power Vision tuner. Another thing I did over the winter was put on this new center console with this new gas cap. I got that off Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below on where I got that, so you guys can order it up if you guys are interested. I also put some new grips on the bike. I went with the Arlen Ness Neural styled grips with the black end caps. I also just recently, if you watched my last video, I just installed these new gauges from Gauge Mods. I'll put a link in the description below to his website as well. Basically changed out the stock orange gauges in the bike and replaced them with blue LED bulbs with white needles. So make sure you guys go check out that video. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video for you guys to go check out. What else did I do over the winter? Oh, I just recently put on these new decals. I got a new tank decal here. Went with the number 1. I got my number on the side covers here, and then I got DOOWORK Productions on the bottom of the bags there, just to switch it up. I've had the same style decals on the bike for 2 years now, so I figured I'd switch it up and do some advertising down in Daytona for Bike Week. So that's the new look for 2021. I know a lot of you guys comment and ask me what kind of floorboards I'm running. I'm running the Flow Motorsports MX style floorboards with a Joker's brake pedal. I'm also running a chopped crash bar with no lower fairings. I got a Clockworks 6.5 inch tall windshield in all black. I got a Lucky Dave seat, and I've got FXR Division Motor Witch bars. These bars have the same bend and pullback as a true T-bar, but you don't have to cut up your console or drill holes in your stock plastic gauge pod here. Just a nice clean look. So I got those as well. And like I mentioned, this pipe here is a dummy pipe. The reason why I'm running dual exhaust is because for 2019 specials, they came with the stretched bags, and if you don't have a dummy pipe over here, it looks kind of silly with the open hole. So that's why I have those on there with the carbon fiber tips. This is a first generation Fuel Moto 2-in-1 Jackpots pipe. I know the new one is called an RTX pipe, and it does not have these end caps. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the build breakdown on my 2019 Road Glide Special. If you guys have any other questions, comment down below. I try to answer everybody's questions in the comment section. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I know some of you are asking me, why am I doing an oil change already? I just put the cam in. I'm doing an oil change because I've only done one oil change on the bike so far. I have 6,700 miles on it, and I did just install the S&S 475C cam in the bike, and I rode it around the neighborhood a little bit, but being that I live in Michigan and it's super cold outside, snow, and everything else, I haven't been able to actually put some miles on the bike with the new cam. So what I did was I did a bunch of different heat cycles. I started it up, shut it off, rode it down the street and back. And basically I wanted to do an oil change before I head down to Daytona and put some miles on it. So that's what we're gonna do today. And after we're done with that, I'm going to be installing that vented oil cap that most of you guys may know about if you're into the performance baggers, or if you have a modified M8. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, they have a lot of crankcase pressure in these M8s, so they recommend using a vented oil dipstick cap on the bike as well. I'll go over that here in just a second. I'll also leave a link in the description below on where you guys can get that from as well. So I'm going to start the bike up and get the oil flowing before we go ahead and do the oil change. So I'll give you guys a little cold start here with the new S&S 475C cam. Alright guys, so here's the ventilated dipstick from A1 Cycles. Basically it comes with a new oil cap with a dipstick attached to it, and then it's got a vent on the top, and then that's where he supplies you with this rubber hose. It goes on the top of the oil cap, and then this runs up underneath the gas tank and has a uni filter on the end just to let that M8 breathe. So that's what we're going to put on the bike after the oil change is done. So yeah, shout out to A1 Cycles. And I'll leave a link in the description below on where you guys can get one of these from. This is a lot cheaper route to go with versus the fueling one that Fueling makes. Alright, so we got the old oil drained out of the bike. We've got the old oil filter taken off. And make sure you guys use the funnel that Harley sells for this, because you don't want to get oil all over your cases. And then we used a lot of blue towels and pig mat to soak up the oil, that way it didn't get all over the black cases. Letting that drip dry just a little bit more. We're gonna put the new oil filter on, and then once the new filter's on, we're gonna go ahead and come over here and fill it up with oil, and then install that new dipstick with the ventilated cap and call it a day. Alright, so we got the new oil filter on there. As you can see, the K&N one's nice because it has the built-in nut on the end, so when we go to take this off next time, it'll be a lot easier than using the filter wrench. But yeah, new filter's on. Now we're gonna go ahead and fill it up with some oil. So the new Milwaukee 8 engines take 4.5 quarts of oil for the engine oil, and we have 3 quarts in there right now. We're gonna put the dipstick in there and check the oil level and see where we're at. With this new ventilated oil cap and dipstick from A1 Cycles, you can't put the full 4.5 quarts in the bike, so we're gonna do baby steps and just keep checking it. So I'll let you know how much oil we end up putting in the bike when we're done. So we got the new dipstick in from A1 Cycles, and it ended up taking 3.5 quarts of oil. You don't want to overfill it, so 3.5 quarts will be perfect with the bike on its kickstand. So now that we got the dipstick in there, we're going to go ahead and put the ventilator hose on and run it up underneath the tank, and we'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Just want to put this out there for you guys. Don't take 3.5 quarts for granted. Make sure you guys follow the directions that come with the ventilator cap kit from A1 Cycles. Make sure you guys follow the directions. You want to make sure the oil is just underneath the line that's on the dipstick. Read the directions thoroughly and make sure you guys have the proper oil level in your bike. Don't just take my word for it. My bike just so happened to take 3.5 quarts. All bikes could be different, so I just want to make sure you guys know that. Alright guys, so I got the vent tube ran up through here, on top of the motor, underneath the fuel tank, and as you can see, just sits in there. He does provide a zip tie. You can tie it to one of those wires in there. I didn't because it's not moving and not going anywhere. It just sits there and you can't even see it from out here. So I just wanted to show you guys where it rests, and it's just a breather, so nothing crazy, doesn't need to be tied down, and it looks good. Looks almost like factory. So there it is, A1 Cycles. I'll leave a link in the description below on where you guys can get one of these from. Like I mentioned many times, it's A1 Cycles, and the owner is A1 Mike. He's actually got the fastest bagger. He holds the title for the fastest bagger in the world right now, I'm pretty sure. Just ran 8 seconds in the quarter mile. So make sure you guys go check him out on YouTube as well. But that's gonna complete today's video, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I've got a lot of Harley content coming to the channel here next week. I'll be down in Daytona for Daytona Bike Week, so you're not gonna wanna miss those uploads. I'm gonna try to do daily vlogs for you guys and upload every day when I'm down there. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna try to do it for you guys. If you guys are going to be down there for Bike Week, make sure you guys comment down below. Let me know who you are, and if you see me down there, flag me down. I'd like to meet you. I greatly appreciate all the support on the channel. You guys make this possible for me to do. So again, thank you so much. And yeah, if you guys are going to be down there, make sure you DM me on Instagram at DOOWORK Motorsports. I'll leave it up here on the screen for you guys. But yeah, that's basically all I needed to do, and now I'm ready for Daytona Bike Week. Next thing I'm going to do is just give it a little bath and load it up in the trailer and head south. We got about a 20-hour drive down to Daytona, Florida, and I cannot wait to test out this new S&S 475 C-Cam I put in here. So pretty stoked on that. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace!